I always thought like bodybuilding was like, oh, they just take steroids. You know, I discredited them for like their hard work. But what people don't see is like, you see the people on the stage or like the success that everyone has, but you don't know the journey that they all go through. And I feel like that's what everyone should look for, is the journey. And then in 2009, that's when I saw Kai Greene competing in the Arnold Classic, and I was like, wow, who's that? You know, and then I looked up Kai Greene, I looked up his life. I saw, you know, the day in the life of Kai Greene. I looked at that, and then I realized, wow, I want to give this a shot. I want to try bodybuilding.
Kai and the winner of the Train with Kai Greene contest for 2014, Steven Whang, are now warmed up and ready to dive into the back and shoulder training session that Steven has been waiting for. Carnivore, the world's #1 selling beef protein, gives you the power of beef at the speed of whey. Carnivore is now available in the original pure beef protein powder and a new delicious RTD. Also try Carnivore Mass, delicious carnivore bars, and new soft-baked carnivore brownies. To purchase Carnivore beef protein bodybuilding supplements, go to musclemedsrx.com right now.
Normally I do pull-ups and dips. Yep. I'm gonna vary that a little bit because I wanna get into 3 specific applications of this pull down that ultimately speaks to the larger development of your back. And even though this is a warm-up, it's one thing that's been very, very helpful for me, particularly in recent years. And I wanna share this with you. If you notice, I'm not allowed to just allow myself to be pulled all the way up for a bigger stretch. So what I'm gonna do is, because I already sense that, right? I'm going to lean back a little bit more and try to allow for my scapula to get the release this way, as opposed to being able to come all the way up. Does that make sense to you? I'm explaining that to you because I think it's important to you. But with this reverse grip, I'm gonna pull. I don't wanna use my biceps though. I'm gonna pull down to my chest, and I'm gonna try to use my rear delts, my rear delts, my traps, and my lats to accomplish that. Here, 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 here. Now check it out. I can pull this down to my clavicle and activate my traps, my mid trap. Does that make sense? Yep. Now, you may be tempted to stop here. I don't want you to. And I don't want to activate my bicep. I want to try to use my hands as hooks and contract through my back. But more specifically, through my rear delts and my traps. See what happens when I got here? I felt the presence of the end of that track. So I leaned back to allow
Maximum stretch.
There you go. Maximum stretch gives me maximum contraction. Why don't you give it a shot? $18, $19, $20. All right, Mr. Whang. We got to do one more rep. He wanted to just show out right now. That's good news. Hold on to that energy there, because we're gonna need some of that for where we about to go. All right, same rules apply. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pause that here. And 7, pause here. 8, see when you feel that? Lean further back, and then pull. There you go, 6, 7, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. You up. 4, 5, let's go. 6, can you get here? 7, can you get here? 8, good. 9, good. 10, good. Your back is alive. 12, come on. 13, good. Bang, 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 yeah. See, this is alive. 10, this is alive. 11, 12, 13, 14, come on, 15, 16, 17, 18, right there is good, leave it there, bang. All right, so remember we talked about 20, 15, 12, 20, 15, 12. When you started to see that right there, to the left of the 15, we move on. So the first one is 20, next one is 15, last one is 12. Believe it or not, the weight will come. More importantly, we need to worry about using the machine. Using the machine. All right, you know what then? This is bothering me. That does look a little shorter.
When we were doing the close grip pull down, I saw Kai notice that the cable was where you put the clip on was a lot longer than one side compared to the other. We wouldn't have been able to get the maximum stretch because when we did, the weight would have already been touching. So that's why we went on our knees, so we get more of a longer range motion. And when I got back home, I actually started to do that.
Good. 5. Okay, hold on. Put it up there. Put it back up. I want you to explore the beauty of this movement. There's things that are kind of come alive for you. All right, so stretch and squeeze. 1, stretch and squeeze. 2, all of this, let's go. 3, make it alive, bring it alive. 4, let's go. 5, all of this, let's go. 6, keep pulling. 7, keep pulling, let's go. 8, okay, let it go, that's it. That's it, okay. All right, no problem. Sometimes we get excited. Okay, but 20, 15, 20, 15, 12. And again, as I drop the reps a little bit, I'm increasing the weight a little bit. But the truth is we still want to be able to almost, like you want to be able to close your eyes, go into your body, and take notice of your muscles and contract them. So even at the top of the movement, you want to be asking yourself, what can I feel there? Can I feel this? Can I feel that? Full stretch on my lats, but am I open? That movement of your scapula, these two triangular bones that sit on the sides of your spine, the movement of those things, of these bones, talk about the move. They tell you what's going on. They're telling you that your lats are activated. They're telling you that your traps are activated. They're telling you if your rear delts are activated. Believe it or not, a lot of times if you're doing these movements that you call back movements, but those two triangular bones are not moving, then that means that your arms are compensating for it.
Yeah, that
means that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. I mean, that's why I like what you're talking about, the stretch. I usually like to let the gravity work with it, so it pulls me up and then pull down.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect, and you did that perfectly. So I know you understand that concept. Okay, we're gonna move on from here. Pull it up. Now, from having done those two first, believe it or not, your whole back should be alive and warm. Sometimes you hear people talk about leaning back or not. Really importantly, it's important to lean back, but not just to lean back to try to pull the weight. Yep. But what's happening is there's longitudinal muscles that align your spine along from your coccyx all the way up. And what they do is, in order to contract, in order to bend your back, they contract. So there's a contraction occurring. When I do that, automatically, I'm taking inventory and bringing online all of these muscles that I want to contract here. So now we're going to pull this and we're going to bury this into our chest. See, this is not just leaning back, but this is flex on my Christmas tree, my spinal erectors, the bottom of my lats, and dang, 2. Now this is more delts and traps when I do it this way. Use this, let's go. 8, flex this. 9, can you flex this? Let's go. 10, can you flex this? Let's go. 11, 12, all right, all the way. Bang, this is 12. It's not a strongman show. As a younger bodybuilder, I used to pride myself on being very strong. As I've matured, I end up learning, wow, there is such truth to connective tissue and wear and tear and damage long term. Some of the things you are able to get away with as a result of just being a younger organism, you know, with newer organs and newer tissue that has not yet been subjected to, you know, the wear and tear for an extended period of time. You know, being a 16-year-old bodybuilder versus being a 30-year-old bodybuilder, there's significant difference, you know, when we talk about a lot of different functions, you know, but connective tissue being one, and also your heart, and just your ability to recover in between sets. So we started with an underhand, lats, rear delts, traps from a different angle. We went to close grip, speaks to all the longitudinal muscles and the middle of your trap, of your lat, up to your middle trap, and as well as your rear delts. But more specifically, because of the sequence, the way we did that, we spoke directly to right in here. Does that make any sense? Did you feel that? Okay, and we finished off again with wide, so we've gotten a chance to start with the top, from the lower to the middle, and then we concentrated our efforts and finished it out. So basically, your whole back right now should feel alive. When you get finished with this, and it's only 3, 3, and 3, so 20, 15, 12. When I get finished with this warm-up, I feel like my back and my shoulders, the back of my shoulders are warm, and I'm ready to continue. Does that make sense? Rear delts, 2, 3, 4, 5, rear delts, 6, rear delts, 7, rear delts, 8, rear delts, 9, rear delts, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Boom. 1, good. 2, 3, flex this, 4, flex here, 5, flex here, 6.
The wide grip rows kind of surprised me because I always thought that was just a back movement. And then, but he was telling me to focus on my rear delts. And when he started touching it, like how, you know, he's like, focus right here on my rear delt. And then when I did, I started to feel a bigger burn in my rear delt. And I never noticed that before. I always thought it was just a back movement.
Believe it or not, there's certain body types that no matter what they do, if you have shorter arms, you'll be able to automatically, almost immediately, without a whole lot of thought, be able to isolate your rear delts and your traps. What I've learned earlier in my training is that I have longer arms. So a good telltale sign of the manipulation of the right mechanics to address my needs are to be led by the contractions that I'm able to make in my rear delts with specific movements. So like a movement like this, my hands are wide, my elbows are out and up. If I'm able to contract my rear delts indirectly, because the intermediary between each delt is my middle trap, it's working. It's gonna work. If I'm able to connect with my rear delts indirectly, that means my scapula is moving, which means that my lats are also moving. Just dealing with my own morphology and just kind of understanding that a little bit through trial and error in my training. So I noticed, dude, you have pretty long arms. And as I see you doing this movement, I can see and feel that you are not only connecting with it, but I can see your muscles, I can see them working. I can touch them and feel them working. So I understand that you understand what we're doing here.
Yeah, I can definitely feel it. Because like when I do these, I usually viewed it as just back, but the way you kind of tweaked it a lot, like what I should focus on, I actually feel it in my rear delts a lot more than I expected. Even just from pull downs, like I never expected like my shoulders to burn that much.
If you do your pull down, if you pull that bar to your chest, I learned that from George Farrell 2 years ago. You know, a lot of times in the past, I used to pull and stop here and think, oh, well, you know, that's enough. But, you know, by fighting for that extra 4 inches or 6 inches, it makes a difference in the detail in your trap. Boom, guess who stepped in the room? Looking for Vishal and now me to kill the bee on the sea. All right. Okay, we're gonna go through a series of movements. Again, this is shoulders. A lot of times people think, you know, back is back and chest is chest, but believe it or not, shoulders and back, technically, you know, your traps and rear delts are the the back of your shoulders. Thank you. Thank you. The back of your shoulders is it's actually the top of your back. So, and for a long time I had to try to improve my back. Well, not really my back, but definitely my shoulders. So kind of learned how to put these movements in the appropriate sequence that helped to improve my posing from the rear, as well as speak a little bit more positively to the judges in the way of the development and its distribution through my back. So, all right, first movement, bang, bang, bang. See that? Not this. This is different. This is lats. This is rear delts and traps. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where we are. 6, 7. This is where we are. 8, 9, 10, 11. Good. 12. Let's go. Now you're about to look really strong. Yeah. Okay. Same rules apply. Let's get it. Bang. Traps, rear delts. 2, 3, 4. One, use your delts, traps. Here we go. 2, let's go. 3, let's go. 4, that's good. 9, 10, come on. 11, 12, excellent. Question. Why would someone do an upright row while still talking about addressing their back?
I'm not sure.
No? Because this speaks to your traps. Your trap, and believe it or not, the longitudinal muscles of your back. So technically, like when you walk through feeling your rear to a bicep shot, your traps, particularly how it's spoken to by this movement, it'll make sense. It'll make sense not only in your back training, but also in your shoulder training. There's this area, your middle trap, as well as these longitudinal muscles that, wow, I don't want to say the wrong name, and then somebody sees this on tape, and then they go, and then I get a whole bunch of fan mail that's like, oh, infraspinalis is not, okay, sorry. So without setting myself up to be, corrected terribly and unforgivingly, I'll just continue to say the longitudinal muscles of your back that are spoken to by doing this movement. Technically, my awareness mentally of that and my trap, my middle trap, as well as my rear delt, are what led me to believe that this was a really good way to make the connection and improvement with my rear to a bicep shot over the last, I don't know, let's say 15 years. So this is one of those movements. Technically, I could point out a bunch of little specific minutia in the continuum of my personal experience on stage that will support why I feel so strongly about this. But, not everybody is as concerned about the specific about my career as I guess I would be, which would be the thing that I would use to support why I'm doing this. But I share this with you because if you are on the road to improving, your shots from the rear as an up-and-coming bodybuilder and as a person that's concerned with the overall ability to develop your physique the way you want to, this is one of those things that I throw at you that will, I hope, be of some good fruit.
That helps a lot because every movement that I do, I try to focus on and envision what I'm going to present on stage. Like when I'm doing the double bicep curls on the cables, I kind of plant my foot back as if I'm doing a back double rear bicep, and then I contract each time like that, and I imagine the pose that I'm doing. Sometimes I close my eyes, like you said, really visioning what I'm going to present on stage and what exactly I'm going to do.
Very important. It's good that you're doing that. These are things that sometimes that someone may not be able to tell you, that you actually develop on your own, but when you do it, you put yourself along the lines of the right thinking that has helped others that have aspired to do what you're trying to do, make that same connection and do those same things. You'll find that you'll have that in common with someone else that was aspiring to learn how to connect and make their brittle bicep more efficient. The same thing that you just described is the same thing that I've heard a lot of other champions that I looked up to do and make connections in their effort to make connections with other exercises, just as we are right here and now.
Secret Sauce is the world's first post-workout formula to contain bovine serum albumin, also known as BSA. BSA is a unique, fast-absorbing bioactive protein derived from bovine blood plasma.
What is unique about this formulation is that it's specifically designed to enhance post-workout skeletal muscle growth and repair.
Well, within just a few weeks, I started to experience drastic differences in my physique. My muscles became bigger, fuller. My recovery time was significantly reduced. The secret is out. To get the full reward of my hard work in the gym, I use Muscle Med Secret Sauce after every workout.